Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's a new week in Hearthstone, and there's a good shot that we may see a balance patch. I think almost certainly we're going to get a mini set announcement, and well, we're going to go over what I think if we are going to get a balance patch, because I'm really not sure. There's a good shot it's not happening, but who knows? Anyways, we're going to give our predictions of what those nerfs should be. As well, we're waiting for news on a lot of good stuff. And if you enjoy the content on the channel, you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, it helps us out a lot. Before we dive into the meta, I wanted to do a quick little shout out. I've been doing a Twitter poll series determining what's the most popular class in Hearthstone. And we've already eliminated Demon Hunter, Paladin, and Shaman. And basically, I put 4 classes up. Whichever gets the least amount of votes gets eliminated until we're gonna have only one class remaining. I'll probably make a video like summarizing all this stuff later on, but if you want to head over onto Twitter, follow me over there. You can participate and maybe give some Deathlight some votes, as it's doing quite poorly in the latest poll. Anyways, the meta itself in Hearthstone. What are we needing to see change? What would likely get nerfed? I really don't think we need a big balance patch. If it was up to me, there wouldn't be a balance patch this week. I'd wait to see how the mini set's gonna roll out, because yeah, the heroic brawl, the whole heroic scam going on right now ends on Wednesday, and typically they'll tease a mini set like right around there and then start revealing the cards the day after. Although last mini set, they started revealing stuff before the heroic brawl was even over. I think it was like on a Tuesday, so we could get something tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. But yes, the mini set likely to be announced this week and likely to come out next week. So that might like postpone a balance patch. We did do that video talking about how one of the devs already said they're going to make a change to Rogue. So we kind of already know that, but what else is doing really well? If you look across all ranks, you see Druid is kind of like above and beyond everything, and every class is like within realm. Only Demon Hunter sucks, but they still have like Naga DH, which can compete but does really bad against Rogue. And well, let's take a look at the meta. What could actually, what's standing out? Let's go to Legend, not top 1000 Legend. We'll go to Legend. Tree and Druid, Highlander Hunter, which is always up there. I never see anyone playing it. Naga Priest, a lot of Druid decks, right? Like Tree and Druid, Nature Druid, Dragon Druid, and then you got the Sludge Warlock. And the Thaddeus decks, you probably have it in the thumbnail, nowhere to be found on here, right? Like all the Thaddeus decks are relatively low win rate. Like Thaddeus Warlock is 48%, and I believe the Druid versions are even worse. People have stopped playing them like entirely, but they create a really bad polarizing feeling, and the more stuff you nerf up top, the better they will get. So let's get into what do I think should get nerfed, will get nerfed. Well, let's go into the collection and take a look. Again, we basically have confirmation, or almost kind of confirmation for the devs that Velrock is going to get adjusted at some point. For me, I think it's a simple thing of making it a 3-mana 3/4, a 3-mana 3/3, make it easier to remove. You can bump it up to 4. I don't think you get rid of the charge. I know some people have mentioned give it rush, then the card is so much worse. And I feel like charge is fine, especially if you have to work for it, or you could do the whole thing while this is in your hand, play 2 cards from another class, right? It started at 3, maybe 2's a better number. That way you could leave like everything else alone if you make it a little bit harder. Either way, the card is definitely overtuned. The Mulligan win rate, the played win rate on it is just absurd, because you could shadow step it, of course. And I mean, I'll just show this graphic from Reddit today. It just sums up how I feel about shadow step these days. And yeah, Velrock's gonna get changed, but honestly, I wouldn't really change anything else in Rogue. Again, I'm gonna keep saying Shadow Step shouldn't be part of the core set, or there should be some kind of nerf. I actually saw an interesting one. Return a friendly minion to your hand, it costs 2 less, but you can't play it this turn. Like, you'd have to wait the next turn. I actually think that's a pretty cool different change, but definitely something they won't do. If they're gonna nerf it or change it, it'll probably get put into the into WoW. But again, I think there is 0% chance of that ever happening, so kind of a moot point. For Druid, and you look at like what cards you can adjust for Druid, a lot of stuff's gonna rotate. There's like minor adjustments you can make. Cactus Construct is just such an absurd card that maybe do like a minor adjustment to the card of making a 1/1 copy of the 2-cost minion, like just something little to like slow the deck down a little bit. Another card that, you know, you can look at Dragon Golem, maybe taking a health off of this, making it a 2/4, I don't know, making it a little less impactful. But one of the cards that, I don't know, just always stands out to me that annoys me, and it's probably not even a good nerf candidate, is just Cultivation. I hate how fast this comes down for 0 mana, where you like leave any little board. It doesn't take very long, and then they can tutor this, right, with the Summer Flower Child, and just dump it for 0. I wish you had to play a bit more treants to get this to cost mana. So I really don't think Druid needs a huge hit. Like, it is the top class win rate, but it's very counterable, and it falls off at higher legend, but obviously it's a little too good. So Cultivation's a card, again, maybe you make it like 9-10 mana, slow this down just a touch. And win rate wise, if you're looking at Treant Druid specifically, Herald of Nature is like by far probably the biggest outlier. You could just make it like give your other minions +1/+1, nerf that a bit, make this 4 mana. This card's rotating soon, right? Like, there's so many little things. Like, I just don't want to make major adjustments to these decks, but it's clear that like a little bit of, you know, something needs to be done, whether it's Treant Druid, whether it's Dragon Druid. So I would look at Herald of Nature, Cultivation, and then yeah, for Dragon Druid, you're probably looking at the Golem, right? As I said, maybe hurting the stats on this a little bit, as it could just win the game by itself. You could still like hand buff it and do some really good stuff, but even just playing it as a 3/4 standalone isn't that bad. I feel like they're not going to nerf Whelp again, because I feel like they nerf Whelp, they outright just kill Dragon Druid. Like, they've already hit it, you know, the massive change of making it a 1/1. But it is the best card of the deck. But if you make it 3 mana, it's like pretty much a worse Wild Growth, right? It's a conditional Wild Growth. They just can't really do that. So it's a tricky one. Very interested to see what you guys think should get changed. But yeah, overall, not really seeing it. And then of course, I don't see how they can leave this card alone to create such bad feels until the next, like, you know, rotation, because Thaddeus is rotating. He's a March the Lich King card. He's already been nerfed once, where it was just your odd cost cards cost 1, right? Or your even cost cards cost 1. I would just slap on the not less than 1 onto this, at least until rotation. You could probably revert it then or do whatever. But it just creates such a bad feeling when people cheat this out, copy it, OTK. Like, it's so oppressive against any, you know, the remotely slow decks. It's even the Dirty Rat decks, or, you know, those disruption decks don't really work well against it. It's just pure aggression or combo that can beat this, and that's why it's only like a 48% at Legend Thaddeus Warlock, right? But I don't think a deck this polarizing, this frustrating, where should exist. So I do expect Thaddeus to get hit. And again, you could increase the mana cheat on it, like your cards cost 5 less, but not less than 1, 6, right? Just as long as you can't get it less than 1, I feel like would help a lot. And that's kind of what the spirit of the card originally was, when your odd and even cost cards cost 1, right? They didn't cost 0 originally, so it almost goes back to that, harkens on that a little bit. So I do hope that they do make that change. And then again, if they want to revert it in Wild, it's probably fine, even though I probably wouldn't. But, you know, it's Wild will be Wild. And there is one more card I want to talk about, because I don't really think you're nerfing much else. Like, Sith Mage is really that great. I will say Sharpshooter, like, you nerf all the bad matchups, which is why Sharpshooter isn't that great at the moment. Like, it literally loses a Rogue, which is like 30% of the meta, so people don't play it. I still would preemptively bump this to 4. It's still just, again, one of those polarizing things that, again, like Thaddeus can just kill you in 1 turn on a 3-drop. I don't think that should exist. I don't think, that's not my prediction though. I don't think it'll happen, not yet. But I do not think this card survives at 3 its entire run. It's just kind of a problem. But I'm gonna go to Wild. There is one card that I think Wild needs to give a bit of an adjustment to, because it's literally unplayable in the game. And I guess they probably have plans for Twist, right? We don't know what the next Twist season is. Probably with the mini set announcement, there'll be patch notes and then we'll know. But still, Mech Warper is literally unplayable in Hearthstone right now. You can't play the frickin' card. It's not playable in Wild. Duels, even though it is getting deleted right in April, it's banned in Duels. Twist is not active right now. It's not an arena available pick. It's not playable. I maybe in a Tavern Brawl where wild cards are allowed, I don't know. But regardless, I would just, you know, the card needs to be changed. It's been banned in WoW for too long now, right? In my opinion. I don't know. You put it to 4 mana, I think it's fine. I know you can do the not less than 1, but again, that kills what people have loved to do with that card for years. So Sorcerer's Apprentice got bumped to 4, and actually she's been seeing play in Quest Mage lately. She's still prevalent in the game, but you know, give it that 4 treatment so the aggro deck can't vomit their entire hand reliably on like turn 1 or 2, right? Which happened all the time. I do think Mech Warper needs to be updated so it can see play, right? The card is literally unplayable, which I don't think is really a cool thing in Hearthstone, right? Like, if you gotta have a plan for all the cards in some way, right? So those are my picks. Again, I wouldn't change a heck of a lot in the game. Dial back Rogue a tiny bit, dial back Druid a tiny bit, but the mini set's likely coming next week, which will change a lot, probably break the game like usual, and then we'll need a real big balance patch after that as usual, and then we'll be talking about that fun little cycle. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see get changed, not get changed, and yeah, we'll probably have mini set news. It could be as early as tomorrow. Of course, I will keep you posted on everything the second I get the news. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.